Welcome back everybody, we're at Motorcycle Live again today, the biggest and best motorcycle show in the UK, and we're at the Honda stand right now, and we're going to look at some of the new bikes for 2023, starting with the more affordable stuff that we can all potentially have a chance of owning, right up to the super premium dream bikes. See, look, these are some of the most popular bikes on the stand, absolutely all of them getting sat on by the punters here, and for me, this might be the one that I would love to take home. It's the new Dax. It was announced earlier in the year, but it is a 2023 year model bike, and of course it references the original Dax. Dax getting its name from Dachshund, a sausage dog, which references this style of frame. You know, the metal frame, it's sort of got the fuel inside as well, a really unusual design, and they've done a brilliant job of recreating it with the new Grom and monkey bike platform and repurposing it into this beautiful little thing. I think it looks fantastic, and at just under £4,000, it's a nice little bit of fun. But also we've got some facelifts to the other bikes in this lineup. So this is the Grom. What's interesting about this bike is it's got removable body panels, so you can customize it and switch the color quite easily. New for this year, you've got this gold wheels, gold forks, gray paint job, and then some sort of fancy bold graphics on the side. Looks quite sporty, which I think maybe is a little bit of a contradiction, but I like that about the Grom. It's meant to be a bit cheeky. And then lastly, in the mini bike lineup, we've also got the Monkey. Now new for 2023, we've got a red one, and they've given it color coordinated suspension. So red fork tubes there, red springs on the shocks, and then also this lovely tartan effect seat, which is actually, you know, a reference back to the original Monkey bikes, which had that style of seat as well. A little bit more pricey than the Dax, but you can kind of see that it's got a touch more detail, and so possibly worth it if you like the Monkey bike original. Next up, we've got the Rebel 500. It's a great little bike if you want something learner friendly, but also gives you a little bit of that laid back cruiser vibe. And we've got a few new color choices for 2023. This is the red one, but also over here we've got the Rebel 500S. So this is kind of basically an accessory package. So you get some of the things like the diamond stitch seat, the little fly screen on there, and you can also see they fitted this one with some of the accessories like the saddle bags and the backrest. This color is very nice actually. It's sort of like a browny goldy color, but also with bronze wheels. Quite fancy looking, but absolutely new for 2023 is its new retro scrambler style sibling, the CL500. So it's the same engine, it looks kind of the same, the tank's pretty similar and the frame's pretty similar. You get relatively basic suspension and single disc up front for the braking, so it's not really a performance orientated bike, but what I think it does offer is a similar approachable package to the Rebel. You know, it's not massively powerful, it's not intimidating in terms of weight and stature, but if you just didn't want that feet forward, low down seat of the Rebel with that cruiser style, this is a little bit more upright, a bit more rugged feeling, and I think this is going to sell really well.
Now before we get onto the next bike, I just want to say a massive thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Brilliant is the ultimate way to learn more about maths, science and computer science. And the focus is on doing rather than just sitting and listening, which personally I much prefer. Two courses that I'd specifically recommend to fellow bikers would be Classical Mechanics, which has plenty of automotive references and examples, but also Physics of the Everyday, which is super interesting to anyone who's practically minded. But on top of those, there are thousands of lessons across a huge range of courses that will help you to level up. From casino probability to 3D geometry to cryptocurrency and astrophysics, there's pretty much something for everyone if you're of a scientific mindset. Now, not only will you get specific practical skills from it, but also learn how to be a better thinker all round and improve your problem-solving abilities. So head to the link in the description or go ahead and type out brilliant.org/motobob to get started for free. And the first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. So once again, a massive thanks to Brilliant for their support. And with that, back to the bikes.
Now this one's kind of interesting for me. This is the CB650R, so a really popular middleweight naked over the years, a brilliant inline 4 engine, but I was certain that with the introduction of the Hornet, the CB750, which we'll look at in a minute, very aggressively priced, I thought maybe this might be out of the lineup for this year, but it isn't. It's back with some new color options, so maybe they're extending its life cycle a little, or maybe they do intend to run them both in parallel and see how they go. But yeah, we've got a blue one over here, but perhaps most interesting to me is this fully blacked out version. So you get a black paint job, black side panels, black fork outers. It almost looks like a baby version of the CB1000R Black, and for me, definitely a good thing. I like blacked out bikes. All right, so here we do actually have the CB750 Hornet, and I think it looks like it's going to be exceptional value for money. They're saying that the launch price will be $6,999, so more affordable than any other middleweight naked from a major manufacturer, and yet it makes plenty of power, 90 horses, which would probably make it the most powerful bike in that segment. It's got a decent chassis spec, it's got decent tech as well, a TFT dash with phone connectivity, riding modes and all that good stuff. So on paper, to me, sounds pretty spectacular, and we'll actually be going to ride it on the press launch in Spain in about 2 or 3 days time. So if you're new to the channel and you want to see that review as soon as it goes live, then I definitely recommend hitting subscribe. Now, also new for 2023 and heavily related to the Hornet we just looked at, it's the Transalp. It gets the same parallel twin, which looks very impressive indeed, but of course this is a middleweight adventure bike setup, so it's a direct competitor for the new V-Strom 800 and also the Tenere 700, which is a super popular bike. Is this going to be up to scratch though? Well, it looks pretty impressive. I wouldn't say it's as highly sprung as the Tenere, so it might not be quite as aggressively off-road biased, but still it's only about 4 kilograms heavier, which is pretty competitive. The tech package looks great, which is definitely a weakness of the Tenere. And so if you want something that's maybe a little bit more balanced towards the road and gives you a little bit of off-road capability, then this might be a good one to look at. I don't know when we'll get to ride this one yet, but it's definitely on my list for next year. I can't wait to check it out. Next up, we've got the CMX 1100, so the big brother to the Rebel 500 we just looked at, and this is a kind of new spec for this year. So this is the CMX 1100T, the T standing for Touring. So it gets that quite interesting looking sort of batwing fairing and also the hard luggage at the back. So if you want to do a little bit of weekend touring, then this is probably the one to look at out of the Honda Cruisers. Now, it doesn't get that classic Harley chrome styling. It really is Honda through and through, but it's a great engine, pretty well priced, super reliable. And so if you're not a poser like me, you know, you're not that bothered about the aesthetic side, then, you know, it could be a really good little cruiser, this one. Now we'll rapid fire through some of the color updates for this year. So this is the CB1000R. They're more sporty, higher capacity naked, a brilliantly fun bike to ride. New for this year, we've got a few color options, so like a red version. These are the 2 black editions, and the black edition is now available in blue. Now the Africa Twins also get a few color tweaks for this year. You still got the red one. We've also got some black models, but I think still my favorite of all of them are the tricolor ones, the white, blue and red. It just suits that bike perfectly. Also new for this year, the Gold Wings get a color tweak. Now they're a little bit more conservative than previous years, so they're basically either gray or black, but I do like that little pop of color on the engine cases there on top of the big flat 6. What a brilliant engine. Now, you know we like to save the best to last here on MOTOBOB, and I think it's fair to say that out of the paint updates, at least, this has to be the best on the stand. It's a special edition of the Fireblade to celebrate John McGuinness's 100 starts at the Alaman TT, and it's basically a replica of the livery on the bike that he rode on his 100 start. So it's got that kind of gold, white and red finish, gold rim tape, some extra special features like the carbon huggers. It's got the Akropovich silencer as well, but also you've got this film strip around the bike that shows many of the different Hondas he's ridden across the years, and he signed it on the tank. The downside is that unfortunately it's 30 grand, so I don't think I'll be putting a deposit on one today, but still, nice to see it. As always, a massive thanks for watching. I'm gonna make a playlist of all of the videos we've shot here at Motorcycle Live and from EICMA, so you're gonna see all of the best bikes for 2023, and you can watch it by clicking here right now.